Morning, good morning. Today we're going to talk about freedom. We're going to talk about how expensive freedom is. Today's video, freedom is expensive. Are you going to pay the price or are you going to keep complaining? And we have a lot of people who want to keep complaining, who want to keep talking about how hard it is, why they don't want to do it. If you want to make money, if you want to have freedom here in America, you need to make some money. You need to become a boss. You need to have that boss mindset. You need to be a producer. And many folks don't really want that. They don't really want to. Oh, this should help. They really don't want to go ahead and pony up to get their freedom. What is freedom? Let's define that. Freedom is being able to live the life that you want without a ton of ramifications. Like, let's say you're a poor person. You work a job that you hate. Uh, you you're living a life. You're living somewhere you hate. You're at the mercy of your income. There's a lot of things that happen to you as a poor person to keep you from being free. You know, when you go to work, where you live, your check is your boss, your money. There's so many things that will keep you from being free. However, if you go ahead and pay the price, once again, this is Glendon Cameron, founder of Money, Income, and Profit. Number one, manage the money you make to the best of your ability. Number two, make more money. That has been the solution for me. Whining, being angry, talking about the 1%. Someone actually said that rich people don't want poor people to become wealthy and they will do everything they can. Now, this is something that I just vehemently disagree with because whenever I encountered well to do people on the way up, they were extremely helpful because they had the ability to be helpful. I remember I was at business environments and one of the other salesmen, he was like, "Oh, you got your LLC yet?" It's like, "What?" It's like, "You need to have an LLC, since you're self employed, have kin, cut the check to the LLC." Just dropping all kinds of jewels and stuff, telling me how I can get tax advantages. I didn't even know this dude. So, this notion that people who are well off, who are doing well, are trying to keep the secrets to themselves, I think should be interpreted this way. If you're not on the battlefield, if you're not out there killing dragons, if you're not out there trying to make it do what it do, these folks have nothing for you. And that isn't a way of trying to keep you down. It's just like, hey, this person ain't playing football. So why am I going to coach him up on how to be a wide receiver? This is the big part where people don't understand freedom is expensive. Many immigrants who come here understand that freedom is expensive. They know, they're like, ooh, I got to write a check for this. I got to put out some attitude. I got to go ahead and perform. Whereas the indigenous Americans, like, where's mine? This guy over here, he has it. Where's mine? With little regard to how hard the guy over there who has it has worked. Many people, like, I had someone unsubscribe because I had the audacity to say that you're deficient if you don't have $10,000 as a parent saved up. Unsubscribed, you know. I bet you the same person doesn't have a life insurance policy for his kids. Bet you the same thing. Part of freedom is expensive is when you get good information. And this is one of the things that this is the posture that I took whenever I was getting this information from people who were doing better than me. I listened. I didn't go like, well, I need to challenge you. Because the dude who was telling me all about the LLC stuff way, way back when, he was like, yeah, you could do this, you could do this. He even talked about holding company. I didn't go like, man, you crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. I was like, okay. I actually took out a notepad and started taking some notes. And then this was probably a week or two before the JDA thing, where I then, in turn, formed my first LLC. And at that point, I actually went in there. It was just simple. Hey, Ken, I want you to pay my LLC. The name of, okay, boom, boom. There was, the flexibility when you're willing to pay the price, when you're willing to get into the game, when you're willing to be responsible, the benefits are endless. The benefits are endless. I put up my video about Bitcoin, and I'm already getting hate from people who don't want to pay the price. Bitcoin is a shortcut. It's a hack. It's a cheat code to making a lot of money without doing much. This is part of the expensiveness of freedom. You got to get it out of your head that you're not going to be required to do much to get what you want out of life. You got to let that go. You got to get rid of that, because the expense of freedom is being an entrepreneur, starting a business, becoming a producer versus a consumer. When you become a producer, your life changes. Everything changes. The game changes by just becoming part of this producer clique. But once again, many folks don't want to pay that price. They don't want to um, pony up, because it's kind of like in the MGTOW community. How many of you heard of Chad? Chad is this fictional character that all these women want because they don't want these guys. Chad is good looking. Chad doesn't have to do little enough to get women. So everybody wants to be like Chad. When I was in that situation, and I got to admit that when I was doing online dating, it was way different than it is today. Women wrote back, you didn't get ghosted. You set up plans with women, they actually met you. But I actually, just looking at that, even though it was better, it still had problems and issues. And I, opted out once I got a hold of Craigslist protocols. I was like, ooh, this is way better. This is a straight, direct line to Coochie. There's no point in me messing around with these other sites. I'm going to just do this. But how did I get there? I had to pay a price. The same protocols that got me all that trim were the same protocols that I spent 90 days developing to sell items on Craigslist. See, that's the expensive part. It requires you to do something, to be something, to take chances, to actually put stuff into play, to actually go further than the average person. Steve Jameson, one of my old mentors who was in politics, told me there's a such thing as a free lunch. You either pay up front now or pay double later or even more later. D. Grant, thank Uncle G for putting me on the game about Robert F. Smith. What he did this weekend was powerful and inspirational. Sorry if it's off topic. Oh, no, no, not a problem. If you don't know, Robert F. Smith gave the graduation speech at Morehouse College. And in the speech, he said that he was going to pay all of their student loan debt. So these kids get to graduate debt free. Very powerful moment. Shay Cash TV, Chad's a bad boy. Chad is a fictional character that is derived from the mindset of these guys because let's say let's take one of my friends who's 5'7", which is kind of short for a dude. He doesn't even honor, mention, or bring up the fact that he's 5'7". This dude will walk up to any woman. I don't care if she's 6 feet tall. He walk up to her and shoot his shot. He will shoot his shot. I remember we were out and there was this stallion. She was looking tasty. And he's like, I gotta go get me some of that. He went over there and shot a shot, bought her a drink. Next thing you know, they were spending all talking, great conversation. And he was doing the walk of shame the next morning. So she was about 5'11". So she had to be a good 4 or 5 inches tall. He didn't care. He was fearless. But see, he had a great wardrobe. This is something. We're in the military together. He worked on his wardrobe. He worked on his mouthpiece. He had a lot to offer. He was funny. He was an engaging person. So all that diffused him being short. Whereas many guys in the MGTOW community and many guys in the red people, they don't want to work on self-improvement. They want to just sit around and talk about Chad. See, freedom is expensive. Are you going to pay the price or are you going to keep complaining? This is one of my big issues with the MGTOW community is it is a bunch of whining and complaining and little action to solving problems. The price of trim is at an all-time low. Never in history has trim been this inexpensive. As recent as the 60s. You had to tell a girl you wanted to marry her or have some, you had to, in the 40s and 50s, you had to be the man. In the 1800s, you had to go out and find a plot of land and farm that land. You had to do so much back in the day to get a woman. That you don't have to do now. All you got to do is use this. Text it for a little game. You in the house. The price of trimming is all-time low in history. Back in the day, you had to go out and kill a dragon, kill a tiger, kill a lion. You had to do so much. Today, that is not required for you to get the best aspect of women. Yet, we have a large contingency of men complaining, commiserating. Once again, freedom is expensive. Are you going to pay the price or are you going to keep complaining? And a lot of people choose to complain. Many people choose to complain. United States of America, we all have the ability to start businesses. And once I have bring this conversation up, there will be people over in the corners like everybody wasn't cut out to run a business. Really? Most people can drive. Driving the car is kind of complicated. Most people could pull that off. Most people need to eat. Most people have desires. Most people need a place to stay. Most people need money. I don't think everyone's going to start a multi-billion-dollar business, but you can get some that can get you what you make on your job. I think everybody needs to be self-employed. It's a beautiful thing. It opens up doors. It grants peace in your house. But a lot of people don't want to do that. They don't want to be part of the process because running a business is challenging. It's not like a job where you can go to your job, not put out maximum performance and still get paid on Friday. See, that's the big problem. Many people don't want to be consistently responsible. When you're consistently responsible, that's a challenge because it means that you must be consistently putting out effort. You must be consistently being on point, which is part of the price that people don't want to pay. So freedom in America is possible. You can get your piece of the American dream. It just doesn't look like it did for your dad. It's not the same. Life is more fair. There's more competition. It's just not white men competing against white men. It's white men competing against everybody else, competing against his woman, competing against that brother, competing against that transsexual. White men now are freaking out because they got to compete. This is why so many people were like, make America great again. Take it back to what it used to be when we could get maximum benefit without having to really work that hard. We just had to show up and we got all these benefits and we got all of this gain and we got all these dollars and we got all this position and we got all these opportunities just showing up. It don't work like that anymore. The game is fair. If you're a woman, start a business. If you're gay, start a business. You black, start a business. Asians are already on that business tip. They have the highest percentage of business ownership per any group and the highest incomes. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, and where a lot of Asians live is Gwinnett County, Pleasant Hill. If you're ever in Atlanta, go to Pleasant Hill and see what you see. You'll see nothing but Lexuses, Mercedes. They're not living that frugal millionaire life. They're living in nice houses. They're driving nice cars. And they have a very high saving rate as well. They're doing all that. Plus, they're saving a lot of money and starting businesses. Because, see, this is the thing. When you start a business, this gives you the ability to drastically increase your income. You cannot do this on the job. Very hard to do on the job. Broke people are stingy by default. They can barely help themselves and the 2 feet around them. Oh yeah, because once again, when I meet people of means and we start to have conversations, they give me business game. This is why if you meet somebody and they don't want to help you out, more than likely you two are not on the same wavelength. Maybe you're speaking a language they don't want to hear. Maybe because every time I have a conversation with another entrepreneur, someone who's high achieving, they got all types of advice. They're not trying to keep the keys of the universe away from me. They're like, look, try this. Well, this is what we did for our company. This is the kind of conversations. But once again, if you are not on that pathway of economic agency and financial literacy, you and the person of means are going to be speaking different languages. That's the problem. That's going to be a situation. That's going to be an issue. Which brings me up to tomorrow night's training. Even though if you're in Hustler undergrad, you already got the email. We're going to talk about becoming the boss, the mental transformation that you must make to become an owner, to start thinking in terms of being a boss, of being that man or woman on the white horse, being that person responsible. Because that's another part of freedom. Someone's got to make the decisions. Someone's got to make the hard decisions. And it might as well be you, because either you're going to be making the decisions or someone's going to be making them for you. Take the low income person. His money makes a decision on where he lives. He's not making that decision. He's like, he picked this apartment based upon his income, but his money dictated where he was going to live. His money dictated how he was going to dress. His money dictated the friends that his children would have. This person was living a life where their money and their lack of accomplishment was creating all of these decisions of where people are going to be, how they're going to thrive. Freedom is expensive. Are you going to pay the price to keep complaining? This is one of the things that I really hate about online life is the number of people complaining and not coming up with solutions or trying to find a solution. Because, you know, it is put out that Asian men is the least desired men online dating. I see plenty of Asian dudes with some fly chicks. Consistently, I see this. I see a Asian dude with an Asian chick, and she is hot. I consistently see this. So there's this online thing, and then there's what happens in reality. Go up to Gwinnett. You will see these Asian dudes with these colorful hair dudes and these hot Lexuses who souped up BMWs, and they're gonna have a cutie next to them. Consistently, this is what you'll see. Because these Asian dudes have said, look, I'm gonna pay the price. I am gonna become a boss. I'm not gonna talk, I'm not gonna get a business card and put boss on it. I'm actually gonna become a boss. I'm gonna use connections back home in Japan, Thailand, China, and I'm gonna bring some stuff over here and I'm gonna sell it and make some money for me and my family. This is what these Asians are doing consistently. This is what they're doing. So freedom is expensive. Are you going to pay the price to keep complaining? Because if you choose to complain, that is, you're admitting to yourself that you can't figure this thing out, and you're feeling a little insufficient. You're feeling a little weak. Because once again, I'll just put out here, there's enough information on this channel. There's enough information in these courses where everybody here who's listening can be making a G a month on the side while keeping their job. The information is here. Are you going to apply the information? That's the real deal. That's the real trick. So for those of you who are interested in becoming the boss, the links below, you get the Becoming the Boss course and you get access to the webinar. We get deep in this. And what I'm going to do is start training on Thursday nights. I haven't got set up because we're going to get into how to construct a mindset. Mindset is super important. So that's going to be Thursday. I will probably have that ready for you guys in another stream. But that is the ticket. That is the truth. Freedom is expensive. Are you going to pay the price or are you going to complain? You got two choices here. Two. And paying the price in the beginning is hard because you're doing something unusual. You're doing something strange. You're doing something that most of your friends and peers aren't doing. Like I've had many people who've told me about the 5 checking account blueprint when they went to their bank. The people at the bank, some people at the bank was like, "Why are you opening up so many checking accounts?" Perks. And this is something that you need to go ahead and grab before you start making more money. You need to get on this because money management is the basics of finance and wealth development. Go ahead and get on this, get this knowledge, start manage your money to the best of your ability, then start making more money. Start making more money, man. Because I'm telling you, freedom is expensive. Let's see. I know, man. Being the bartender, show up and be talented is motivation watching on warrior and business movements. Learn to talk to strangers. Yeah, Migto is a waste of time. Oh, Ben Blitz. I like that. Some people make memes while other people make millions. J. Cole. J. Cole's a deep dude. I like Wet Dreams. Must be Asians with no money again. I think it's Asians that have become super westernized because if they stay to their culture, because I've just seen this over and over and over again. Like there's this place I go, it's called White Windmill. It's a Korean bakery, none but Asians up in there. And I see these dudes with hot chicks all the time. I just see it over and over and again. So get on this freedom. Start your business today. As an extension of yesterday's stream, because I wasn't used to doing the Google Hangouts, I hit the wrong thing. Get about this perpetual business. Start looking at a business that you can build over decades versus here and now. This will further and strengthen your freedom. Let me show you something. All right. So let's go back to one of my mentors, the A.G. Gaston. He did a lot. And notice this guy lived to be over 100. He was born in 1892. He died in 1996. It was that money. Plus, he was a different kind of person. I mean, he did a lot. Business growth. While working in the mines, he hit on a plan of selling lunches to his fellow miners, then branch into loaning money to them at 25% interest. It was also while working in the mines that he conceived the ideals of offering burial insurance to co-workers. He had noticed that the mine widows would come to the mines to local churches to collect donations or to bury their husbands. And he wondered if people would give a few dimes into a burial society to bury their dead. As a result, Gapson formed the Booker T. Washington Burial Insurance Company in 1923, which became the Booker T. Washington Insurance Company in 1932. In 1938, Gaston bought and renovated a property on the edge of Kelly Ingram Park, downtown Birmingham, where in partnership with his father-in-law, A.L. Smith, he started Smith and Gaston Funeral Home. Smith and Gaston sponsored gospel music. He was aware, realizing there was not enough blacks with sufficient training to be able to work in the insurance and funeral agencies. In 1932, he and his second wife Minnie L. Gardner Gaston established the Booker T. Washington Business School. His first wife, Corilla Smith, died in 1938. Other Gaston enterprises include Citizens Referrals and Loan Association, the first black-owned financial institution in more than 40 years. In 1954, Gaston opened A.G. Gaston Motel on a site adjoining Kelly Ingram Park. You know, A.G. Gaston, when he was in the mines, he was like, "Hey, I could give these guys lunch. I can loan them money. I can get, and I could start a funeral company. I could start an insurance company." And this dude only had his formal education ended with the 10th grade. He didn't have no degree. Became a multi-millionaire. Became a figurehead in the civil rights movement. He funded a lot of that. He bailed Martin out of jail. It was A.G. Gaston, this man who paid the price, understood the cost of freedom, and he made that move. Freedom is expensive. Are you going to pay the price to keep complaining? Steve Jameson, try J, the hot Asian chick, and be broke and see what happens. In China right now, chicks are like, if you don't have money, you have no honey, because they know there are more men than women. What's up, David? Oh, Steve Jameson. Yeah, that was a big industry. I've not done any business in Las Vegas. I know nothing of Las Vegas, nothing at all. But what I'm telling you guys, you need to get into this business, founding and formation stuff. Become a producer, become someone of note, become something, because like this person who said he was unsubscribed because I had the audacity to say that if you are a parent and you don't have any money in the bank, you're being negligent. I guarantee you this dude doesn't have an insurance policy. I guarantee it. Because for him, because that must have struck a nerve. It's like, whoa, I'm not irresponsible. You see, you're gonna have people who will fight you when you give them information that doesn't center well with what they want to hear. Because I've been on here for many years and I have not been the kind messenger, because sometimes the message has to be given with a stick. I can't just be like, well, come on, guys, let's do the right thing. Uh, how many coaches have you seen like that? Yeah, they're the coaches of many losing teams. It's funny. All right, so that's what I got for you guys. The link below is for people who want to become the part of the boss webinar. This is tomorrow night, 7 p.m. And we're going to start doing another training Thursday on the mindset stuff. The official Sean Jones. I've been ignoring friends wanting to go every weekend for the last 18 months working on my ecom business. Now it has put me to be in the position to do it full time in the next 6 months. Once again, paying that price, man, because going out is fun and you should do it from time to time. But going out every weekend, that's just going to make you broker. The boat 5. I just bought the 5 checking account yesterday. Appreciate you. I gross about 50K in my side business. Awesome. Is having a DBA even though I don't have an LLC. You're a sole proprietor. What you need to do, since you're making 50K, which is more money than the average American makes, so congratulations, you need to go ahead and get yourself a holding company and run your company through the operating company. So that's the setup you need to get, because you got the cash, man. I mean, this is only going to cost you, if you were to go ahead and get the art of holding and study that and go ahead You get this done for $600, man. So once again, congratulations on the because the 5 checking accounts, that's personal. And what you're going to need to do is do a corporate 5 checking account. You know, the accounts are different. That's why you need the art of holding. Because see, as long as you keep doing the DBA, you see, you know, you're once again, congratulations. $50,000 on a side business is awesome. You want that side business to get to $1 million. And that's why you need to go ahead and start the holding company, the operating company, and get into that now. Because as a man thinketh, he grows. Oh, yeah, he was Mr. Birmingham. Charles, do you know if you can have? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It's not a problem. It's just more money for them or more money of yours in their bank account. They have no problem with that. All right, the boat. Yeah, because Charles, people need to take all you say in consideration if they feel offended. Typically, my problem happens with many people who are steeped in hood culture or hip hop culture. That's where I get most of the problems because I don't know how many times someone has said something crazy. I went to their page to block them and I saw world star. If you have a world star mindset, that is so incongruent with the principles and the things you need to do to be successful. It ain't funny. And the guy who started World Star, he died. There's so many people who have a world star mindset and they wonder why they're not as successful because, you know, hood culture is Cardi B. Cardi B's just a glorified hood rat. A lot of people like her antics. She gets away with a lot of stuff. Here on YouTube, one of her videos, there's 2 chicks in the video here on YouTube. They're bearing their breasts. I put up an overly suggested thumbnail. They delete that. You know, it's crazy. But once again, what you guys should do is sit down one day with yourself, look at your strengths. Everybody has strengths and talents, and write those your strengths and talents down on the bed on the sheet of paper, and then on another sheet of paper, how can you apply this in a way to serve your fellow man and make some money? How can you do that? How can you take these natural talents that you have to put into a situation where you can create income? Just do that. So, once again, tomorrow night, 7 p.m., I'll be doing Becoming the Boss webinar. And Thursday night, I haven't put the time down, but we're going to do some more mindset training and I will get that set up because, you know, there's so much opportunity that people have available to them right now. It's ridiculous. They just got to step up and take advantage. So with that, I'll see you guys later.